Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Probably we'll just wait for a minute before we get people on board.
Sure.
So we are going to talk about Complyport as a group and more focus towards the digital transformation. First, to introduce myself, I am Digvijay Dhariwal. I am joined by Nimesh. A brief introduction about myself. Joined the enterprise for last 4 years. Have been working in the industry for over 20 years. Major experience is in terms of developing partnerships and global businesses. Started as a career in investment banking and then managed the global businesses across more than over 60 countries. Heavy focus on terms of driving the technology initiatives across the financials and services industry. However, we are not limited to that, and we continue to diversify in terms of different industries, and that would be something which we could focus on the subsequent slides. Over to you, Nimish.
Thanks, Digvijay. Hi, everyone. Morning, afternoon, depending upon the time zone, wherever you guys are. My name is Nimesh Sridharan. I head the technology delivery for Complyport UAE. I've got close to around 24 years of work experience, typically in the solutioning and the delivery space. I think I was fortunate to work across multiple verticals, right from banking to retail to travel and government sectors. So that's a quick brief about myself. Thank you.
Thanks,
Dik-
Nimish. Just to give you a brief round of introduction about the company and the group. Obviously, Complyport as a group is headquartered in London, UK, and we have over 25 years of industry experience on governance, risk, and compliance and technology, specializing in GRC and technology space. We have very evolved towards the RegTech solutions as well. We come with over 25 years of experience across different segments and have supported more than 1,500 authorizations as a part of the group activity. We currently serve over 700 active firms worldwide, and obviously we have served over 1,000 customers globally in the time. In terms of the technology experience which we bring in, so from Complyport acquired Spinebiz back in 2025, and as a part of that engagement, we bring in strong expertise on digital transformation, specifically in terms of driving core solutions as a part of our engagements. We have over 13 years of experience in delivering digital transformation, delivering end-to-end solutions across application development, infrastructure, managed support, managed services as a part of our delivery. We have served over more than 80 global clients as a part of our technology initiatives in terms of driving the digital transformation. We work with industry-leading technology partners, which are predominantly leaders in terms of cloud solutionings and different areas. And in terms of the capabilities, we continue to operate our own network operation centers and security operation centers. From our global delivery capabilities, we have capabilities to drive our through our global offices. In terms of the delivery centers, we are having a spread of delivery centers across UK, Europe, and Middle East and South Asia. where bulk of our delivery comes from Europe, as well as which is predominantly through Cyprus, as well as India, which is through a large offshore model which we drive through India and Mauritius as a part of our engagements. Coming back to very quickly on our services, we are segmented into four different types of business, five different types of businesses, with application development and IT infrastructure management continues to be our core engagement. However, we continue to evolve towards artificial intelligence in terms of our build and focused on in terms of driving the other two businesses, which is on a managed services side, both on financial and accounting outsourcing, and the managed services more supporting on technology and the other side. Coming back to in terms of our services portfolio, we continue to deliver those services through different models, which we will explain in the subsequent slides. But in terms of the larger engagement, we continue to drive end-to-end digital transformations across various segments, which predominantly on application side continues to drive on different platforms which we have delivered in the past. Most of our platforms continue to run globally, and we have been successful in terms of delivering those solutions. I will take on these details further in the subsequent slides or in detail on each of these services so that we can bring over that. Moving on to application development, which is one of our core strength as an organization. Um, in terms of application development, we do a large scale development of enterprise grade applications, where our expertise from delivering various solutions across different geographies has always been our key strength. In terms of the services, we typically do web and mobile application development services. We do a lot of low code or no code engagements. We do a lot of consulting on digital transformation, and we drive in a lot of cases we have supported our clients through staff augmentation model where we have onboarded various different types of skill set on their behalf in terms of bringing in expertise as well as bringing in terms of cost advantage. The major strength as an organization which we bring on board is that being a service organization in most of our cases, in I would say in 100% of our cases, specifically on application development engagement, the IP, which is the intellectual property, continues to belong to our clients. And this becomes a very significant forefront in terms of driving any application development because from an engagement point of view, our clients feel much more comfortable in terms of an intellectual property which is brought in, which is being built by them. The other important aspect on this, when we say intellectual property, is as a part of our delivery, we continue to have a transparent coding mechanism through which the code continues to be available in the environment which is hosted, and the access is always with our clients so that at any given point in time they continue to enjoy the benefit of the code. In terms of our expertise and the key projects, so that you are able to visualize in terms of our strength in delivery, uh, we have delivered and it continues to run enterprise grade application for visa processing. It is for Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which continues to run various service centers, visa service centers across multiple countries. Currently, that enterprise application runs in more than 95 countries globally and continue to serve more than four different government clients as a part of that platform. Each time, whenever we moved on in terms of every client, we continued to bring on board in terms of changes which were required for delivering the specific needs of the clients in respective geographies. Um, Another notable project on the banking and financial services is where we developed and handed over an insurance aggregation platform for US based insurance agency. The intent over there was to promote two different types of solutions as a part of the aggregation. One was predominantly on the students, insurance within US, which is mandatory. And also we brought in the travel insurance, which becomes an outbound solution for the business across. In the meantime, we also continue to build up a product journey. This was more of a re-engineering project on compliance management, and we delivered that project to our client, and it continues to run with more than 70 different clients today on the same solution. We continue to deliver another notable project in the Middle East, which was on the RegTech side on merchant onboarding solution for a payment service provider. It is one of the largest payment service providers in the Middle East, and we have digitally transformed their merchant onboarding as a part of our journey into that. Another notable project on the insurance side again is for doing a sovereign solution for inbound insurance solution for government of Kyrgyzstan. This was through one of the Lloyd syndicates which we continue to offer as a part of our services. While these are some notable projects on the travel or visa side as well as insurance side of the solutions, we also continue to provide in the different segment where we did a custom made CRM solution for a large FMCG company in KSA. Here we basically created a custom CRM which was required more to be managed in-house in terms of adapting the local nuances and continue to drive those engagement as a part of that delivery. It was an integrated solution where we brought in different channels as a part of our engagement, which included e-commerce, which included B2B engagements, as well as contact center as a different channels which continue to operate as a part of this solution. And it continues to run across 50 centers, 50 locations in Saudi Arabia as of today. While these are some notable projects, we continue to do certain different application development across healthcare. We have also done across different jurisdictions, again for a consumer durable company, where we did the maintenance application for a large South Korean company where they wanted to service locally in Saudi Arabia. In terms of our typical strength, and while it comes on the engagement models, we are very flexible in terms of offering our engagements either as per the requirement onshore, offshore, and considering our global presence, we could also offer a mix of both, which would practically means an hybrid solution, or it could be something where we could have offices, considering our global presence, we could have office on a near shore basis as well. And this we have continued to deliver to our clients in either of the models. Based on the preference and the structure of the solution and the delivery, we recommend certain solutions as a part of these engagements, considering the cost as an important element as a part of our delivery. In terms of our engagement approach, while we have delivered multiple digital transformation engagements on creating the applications, however, on a consulting side, we continue to do a lot of consulting on banking and specifically on identifying different solutions for banking banks, which was required to deliver a new age core banking solutions or integrations with the different solutions or a core banking solution providers. And we continue to do that as a part of our engagements. The other, obviously, I've discussed about full application development, which we continue to do. As a part of a lot of product development, which is required by a lot of our clients, what we continue to do is that we work along with them in terms of our journey, where we work with them to build up a minimum viable product, which they could then further take it up in the market and drive those engagements. And basis on the feedback which they continue to receive, we derive the product development accordingly. And this is um, in partnership with our clients, where we continue to bring in both sectoral expertise as well as the development activities as a part of our engagements with those clients. And the last and important engagement approach which we typically drive is something which is required in various organizations is modernization and reengineering. Certain times what we have observed that there are technical stacks which are old and it requires an upgrade in terms of considering how they are currently catering to their processes or clients. We do a lot of modernization and reengineering on those solutions as a part of our delivery. In terms of delivery models, I would like Nimesh to talk about our delivery models and tech stack and the pool of resources as a part of our deliveries.
Sure, sure. Thanks, Digvijay. I think it was pretty insightful on how varied, I would say, delivery models which we actually have from an engagement as well. So, I think for us, what we look at from a end client perspective is what is the best suitable model which is optimal for them. I think a project base or a fixed bid typically works where we do impact analysis of the existing setup. That is one. If it is, let's say, a modernization or a migration in that sense, and we come up with a plan which is specific to three parts of the requirement, which is what is the as a setup which we've understood, what would be the optimal setup which is recommended, and what is the end state which needs to be achieved as well. And based on that, there is a price fixing which is done, or I would say there's an effort analysis which is done based on which the delivery happens. There are clients who typically want a pod implementation option. A pod implementation option is nothing but extended. It could be an offshore, I would say, delivery team which is part of the central team which the client already has. So there, typically it becomes a dedicated team model as well. So it could be a combination of a small sprint team, which the customer is requesting for, and we give those services where there is a flexibility of disengaging the sprint team as well, based on the engagement which the client needs. So I think that's how the system works as well. TNM model is very close to it, but I think this is typically for, I would say, senior resources, or I would say skilled resources where uh, customers typically need a consulting approach from a solutioning angle. It could be on the data structure or the remanagement of the structure itself on itself. So we've got solution architects who will look at the existing structure and also recommend certain strategies on how it needs to be revamped. That could be an option. Or an example of TNM model could be there could be a requirement of creating a middleware, uh, typically because a direct integration may or may not be possible, or it could be a cost-effective scenario as well. So we work along with the customers and we identify how the entire middleware solution needs to be serviced as well. And managed services is typically where we do the support activity as well. So when I'm saying support, though predominantly it coexists with the delivery of the application, but there are scenarios where uh, customers and client need, I would say, offshore support in a different time zone. And that is typically because they need to scale or they need to give that to their end customers as well. So there, a managed services model where we operate across various time zone helps them also. I think that's the various delivery model. Coming to the tech stack, I think we are pretty much heavy on open source. I think that's been our motto in that sense as well, where we look at one, the software or the application being optimized. That's one. We also, if you look at the tech stack, there are mention of Frappe, Python, and Java. Uh, we also have, I would say, a recommendation approach where we could look at a framework specifically from a delivery perspective as well, and need not be specific to a standard code base which is there from a market perspective or a customer is needing. front end is pretty straightforward. We were talking about expertise and resource pool available in React and Angular as well. I think mobility is something which is key today in the market. So I think most of the applications, at least which is the customer facing side, we've seen there is a requirement of both mobile as well as the web based as well. So there we have the resource pool where we have got experience in React Native, Ionic, and Flutter. Couple of deliveries which Digvijay spoke about, specifically in the insurance product. It has the capability where it is also delivered on an app, because we are talking about uh, customers, or let's say the end clients who are more mobile, and not specific to a web access from a channel perspective. I think what we have observed, basis our experience, is low code plays a very important role. It might not be a major driver when it comes to application development, but it could be a scenarios where if there are certain, um I would say, optimization of processes which needs to be done, which could then get tightly integrated with the overall solution as well. Or it is a blend of, let's say, humans. When I'm saying humans, it's a manual process plus some kind of an automation process, is where we see low code, I would say, fitting well from a solution aspect as well. And that also helps the, I would say, the optimization of the overall process from a time management perspective. So from an expertise perspective, from a resource pool, we do have those resources specifically on Microsoft Power Apps and Zoho. I think database, just a quick input for your understanding. Because there are various flavors of database available, I think it also depends upon, in our consulting approach, we recommend to our clients which is the preferred model as well. So there are scenarios where it could be a compliance related scenario where you might need something which is specific to an Oracle database as well. But can it also be something which is specifically on a transactional model where we can look at a Postgre or a MySQL, or an unstructured data model from a MongoDB perspective? All of these flavor and skill set is something which we have. So to answer, like how Digvijay mentioned, there are a lot of unstructured data which is there in the contact center space as well. Those typically gets managed on a MongoDB interface. Plus, it could be transactional interaction, which could be on any of those database platforms as well. I think integration is something which is very key. As I said, we support, one is on the managed services side, where we can give resources. Specifically, we will support various integration parameters with the client is requesting, and also help in the delivery of a middleware application as well. I think chatbot is evolving. Sorry, is a evolving solution for us as an organization. I think we started off working on chatbots way back, I think in 2019. Typically, when we had a requirement specifically on the healthcare side of it, and then this was predominantly in the time when there was COVID. That's when we realized that AI/ML plays a very important functionality as part of engagement when it comes to customer, where typically it could be information generation, which need not need, or which need not need complex processing, is something which can be done through a chatbot as well. I think chatbot in combination with data processing and predictive analysis is what we have offered. I think from a resource pool perspective, we have the resources available, both which could be into the predictive analysis space, or specific to building certain requirements of chatbot for an end client as well. I think that's a quick overview on what we do on application development. Over to you.
Thanks, Nimesh. So in terms of our second line of business, would like to talk about the IT infrastructure management, which is again a very critical service delivery for various organization. It is a backbone of any delivery which the client or our engagement happens. We have been doing this line of business for 13 years, managed various different kind of complex environments. Um, Keen to highlight a couple of initiatives where we have done a lot of migrations on cloud. While we continue to do that, we have supported on a large scale implementations which continues to run across multiple geographies, supported them round the clock in terms of delivery, and managed those infrastructure where the uptime was a very critical element, specifically in terms of visas, alternatively in terms of the banks and the insurance companies, which we continue to support as a part of our delivery. We have been forefront in terms of driving cloud infrastructure through various of our global partnerships, which we have with AWS, Oracle, or IBM. Um, we have delivered a project in Mauritius, which was the first 100% cloud uh, deployment for a bank in compliance with the Central Bank of Mauritius requirements to bring on board a solution. Similarly, we have continued to do that across different segments of business, including insurance as well as other sectors. Um, NOC, which is our key delivery center as a part of our services, which is network operation centers. We have a 24 by 7 network operation center continuously monitoring the infrastructure engagements, which we continue to do as a part of our service. In terms of these services in general, we continue to provide various cloud services as a part of our engagements. We do a lot of consulting in terms of identifying, optimizing, ensuring that the IT infrastructure is in place as per the requirement, and continue to manage the requirements on the compliance and the regulatory side as well. While this is critical, it is also critical to have service management as a part of these engagements and continue to drive those things where desktop support and the other support continues to be part of our delivery as a requirement. We have a very large pool of certified engineers as a part of our network and as a part of our team. So we continue to have those on board to ensure that the deliveries are available. In terms of, again, on the engagement model, we have supported clients where they required resources on site. We continue to do offshore. We also do in both hybrid model as well. When it comes down to engagement approach, obviously we have done different types of engagements where you require a cloud migration or a cloud setup, which is required right from day one. We do also manage to or build a private cloud as a part of our services. DevOps, which continues to be a critical service as a part of an application delivery and a structuring of the solution on the infrastructure side, continues to be our part. And from a service delivery point of view, we continue to provide 24 by 7, as I mentioned earlier. And we do a lot of project specific consulting as a part of our delivery. Over to you, Nimesh, on the delivery models and capabilities.
Sure, thanks, Digvijay. I think coming to infrastructure again, various flavors of delivery model is what we offer. I think it also leads from an analogy that what customer needs and what could be a preferred model for them. I think consulting led implementation. Digvijay did give an example of Mauritius. So what we typically do is I would say it's more of a system study again, where it is two parts. One is which is the network side of it. Second is the infrastructure which is there existing. The application stack as well, because that is something which we bring as a experience. So it's not only infrastructure, it is also the capability of analyzing the application which is there. Let's say if the customer is looking at an on-prem to a cloud migration, and based on these three aspects is where we recommend what could be the preferred model and what should be the preferred model of delivery. So consulting typically is where we limit ourselves, where we give the recommendation. But if there are scenarios where clients also need the service support, that is something which we also do as part of the managed infrastructure service as well. Infrastructure as a service, what we have also seen is we have supported customers specifically where they have certain, I would say, SaaS models which has got geographical dependency when it comes to sovereign data. So the infrastructure inlay which is there, which could be depending on a specific region, is what we manage, while the customer still manages the application layer or the delivery layer as part of the service. So that's what we do as part of the infrastructure service. Modernization becomes a key in today's age. I think we have seen every organization either I would say worried about how the data residency happens or what to do with the quantum of data which is present with them. How will it, I would say, map when it comes to compliance when there is a modernization or a migration which happens. So we typically support customers where we give one is consultative approach on what is the best option, and then second is also the implementation of those modernization services as well. As Digvijay said, knock and sock plays a very important role in each of these models. As part of the implementation, there is a requirement of monitoring those services from an uptime perspective, whether it is servers, whether it is the network infrastructure, or whether it is, let's say, an MPLS connectivity or any other connectivity which is there. So the NOC predominantly works 24 by 7. Plus, we also have a SOC, which is again an offshore SOC, typically to do with threat intel. And there are two deliveries which we do as part of the SOC. One is the threat monitoring, and second is the prevention as well. So prevention typically spans across two requirements where one, it could be the network threat which is caused and the optimization of that, and also providing reports, which could be a periodic reports to the end client where they would want to present that to the regulatory bodies as well, because that's one of the standard operating procedures which we have seen in the banking parlance. Coming to service capability, I think I will not deep dive on AWS, Oracle, and IBM. But the only thing which I want to mention here specifically is that do we have a specific resource pool with specific skills on each of these cloud platforms? The answer is yes. We have done uh, migration specifically on-prem IBM Power Series servers and migrated them to a cloud Power Series setup as well. So this is predominantly where there was a tight integration of the tech stack on the IBM Power Series, and the client did not want to migrate out of those Power Series as well. So we helped them as part of the migration strategy in that scenario as well. So solution may be dependent on any of those layers. I think the analogy is how do we support and it is also being agnostic to cloud. We are not very specific that we have to do a specific cloud. I think it also depends on what is the best approach. It could be also region specific, because as you all are aware, every cloud service provider does not have a multi-AZ setup or a redundancy setup in each of these regions. So those constraints as well play a key important role when you are solutioning a cloud migration or a cloud modernization from a technology perspective. I think virtualization is something which we've done. Uh, VMware is something which we support. We have done softwares accessed on Citrix technically for a telecom company that was predominantly predominantly because latency was playing a key important role, and when what we realized that Citrix was the best option at that point of time, and I think we had to manage the round trip latency to a specific around 140 to 160 milliseconds. ECOPS we've used specifically where we have to create virtual infrastructure, which is called as VDIs. What we have also seen, this predominantly stems from the working from home scenarios as well, and what is the best way of, I would say, securing endpoint systems. I think ECOPS gives a overall solution where I, as a user, even though I have an endpoint, I am still connected to a virtual environment, and all application or all secure access happens through the virtualized layer, and the endpoint typically becomes a dumb terminal. So these are typical solutions which we work with our clients, which will help them from a compliance solution perspective as well. Networking, I think from a skill set perspective, we have got a resource pool which have got experience and certified on Fortinet and Cisco. This could be predominantly for any, I would say, office management, branch management, or it could be interconnectivity, it could be IPsec configuration, or it could be, uh, I think, creating those access lists specifically from a compliance perspective. As part of the managed services 24 by 7 operation, the engineers help I would say as part of the engagement in managing those infrastructure as well. I think DevOps is something which everybody talks about right now. I think what we believe in our analogy is that, like Digvijay said, our I would say our analogy is that the solution or the code is with the customer. So when we are actually running a pipeline specifically for a development standpoint, we also update the client and they have full access to the pipeline as well. And they can see how the pipeline has been set up, how the security vulnerabilities have been handled, how there is a turnaround and a faster delivery from a solution perspective as well. So that's how we manage. I think it's not just about creating that pipeline and managing it. It is also about having the customer access of the entire infrastructure as well, and they have visibility on what is happening as part of the delivery. I think Docker and Kubernetes plays a very important role in today's world where we talk about containerization of the application. As part of the infrastructure, we have DevOps engineers who will manage those Docker so that there is a sanctity across images, which is across your dev, UAT, and production. The skill set pool also resonates from a fact where having Kubernetes in place and managing those clusters specifically for a horizontal scale or for let's say uptime or uptime healing of those infrastructure is something which the team manages as part of the managed services operation.
Yes,
Monitoring.
we have to look at the time.
Sure, sure. I think very quickly, I think monitoring typically is where we use tools like SolarWinds and CloudWatch, and operating system is not limited to. We support most of them as part of the setup. Sorry, Digvijay, over to you.
Thanks. So the other line of services which is very critical as a part of while we have looked at the applications on the one side and the infrastructure on others, the digital transformation also is very critical in finance and accounting, and this includes both in terms of our operations, in terms of driving um, the day-to-day accounting, as well as how to optimize in terms of our delivery, which could bring in terms of efficiency, second, and delivery mechanism where it is driven by an SLA. This has been a part of our forefront in terms of delivering a technology-based solution where we transactionalize the accounting processes and ensure that we are able to deliver on those things. A typical services as a part of this is procurement support in terms of AR, AP, where we use our technology expertise on one side to bring in terms of transactionalizing each of these data and ensuring that we are able to comply with SLAs. In terms of statistics, I'm sure you could review that we have processed over 2 million transactions. We have done across multiple geographies and entities and continue to provide that across different time zones as well. The advantage of this service is that it's an extension of your own team, which continues to operate as a part of your own team offshore in case if the model continues to be that. Alternatively, we have also provided resources where financial planning and budgeting resources are typically on site or near shore in terms of our engagements as well. Yeah. Again, in terms of the delivery model, it continues to be similar to what we have discussed in the past. In terms of engagement approach, which becomes a very critical part of it, where there is an existing process which continues to be driven, we ensure that we practically, as we say, lift and shift, and do the transformation in parallel. We do a lot of process standardization as a part of it, and more importantly, we do with the technology intervention a lot of automation which leads to a lot of optimization in terms of delivery of services on a transactional basis. For an example, in terms of these deliveries, we have ensured that we are able to bring in processing time from 4 working days to practically 2 working days as a part of our delivery. Also, it ensured that all the audit logs continue to be in a solution which was practically controlled as a part of transactional monitoring. In terms of delivery model, we could either do an entire process outsourcing, which is typical business process, which gets outsourced. Alternatively, we can do specifically on the transactional support where there is a specific skill sets which are required to do that. We do a lot of seniority services as a part of our thing, and as I mentioned, we typically also give resources as a part of our engagement where there are skilled resources who are supposed to do a specific skill set. Here we have also introduced within our technology capabilities AI solutions where we have actually automated statement of accounts which becomes a regular activity for organizations where we have automated SOAs where there are only differences which comes out, and as a part of that exercise it reduce a typical SOA runtime to practically from a couple of hours to in minutes. And that's where our technology intervention as a part of digital transformation comes into picture. Over to you, Nimesh, on the AI part.
Sure, sure. I'll be cognate about the time as well. But then I think this is one of the journeys which was very interesting for us as well. And what we realized right from COVID time till now is that how AI plays an important role in optimizing each of these businesses is what helps the customer to drive efficiency as well. Key projects, if I would highlight specifically, is there was a specific use case where we were looking at optimizing the way the responses to the end clients were also made. So the AI, I would say the AI engine or the AI model which was delivered was one which had a combination of data extraction. It had a combination of unstructured data validation and also response. And this was typically done to optimize the response which was happening for the end client as well. Couple of key deliveries, which also as part of the projects is the automation workflow which Digvijay spoke about. I think these AI agents are typically built, which is consumed by end users, which are people who are working as part of the process operations. They consume this AI and automate the output, which is then delivered for enhanced processing as well. We have done AI analytics specifically on language. I think this is something which is very interesting. Not only specific to English as a language, but we have also done it in Arabic as well, The model understands a couple of scenarios like empathy. It also understands sentiment analysis and validates the entire journey of that engagement and what an end client needs to do as part of the customer engagement as well. Uh, Digvijay, if you can move to the next slide. Yeah. Moving to the engagement approach, like similar, we have the model which is your onshore, offshore, and hybrid. But the key thing which I wanted to highlight to you all is we look at a use case driven implementation. That's one. So when I say use case driven implementation, it specifically it could be a problem statement which has been mentioned, and we work with your I would say it could be the operations team or it could be the technology team, and we build that model which will help you as part of the engagement itself. Center of excellence is very different. I think what we look at is there are some three or four pillars which we look at. One is strategy on what the customer is wanting to do. We also look at governance as part of the setup, and then we look at the skilled engineers which are there. From a resource pool perspective, as part of the COE, we have data scientists, we have data engineers, and we also provide domain expertise as well when it comes to BFSI, and they help to enhance the AI model as part of the strategy. I think that also covers the delivery model, which I spoke about as well. A couple of things which I also want to mention is on the stack. While and how do we differentiate as well? While organization typically look at models which are there predominantly available from a source perspective. We also have, I would say, a partnership which is with Purple Fabric. This typically is where you have a wrapper which is sitting on top of the different LLMs which are there in the market currently. The wrapper also has got two advantages. One, you can build the AI agents with the use cases. Second is there are some standard use cases which are there on the model itself, which can be reused and customized for your requirement. And the third thing which we also help clients do is optimize the LLM or do a comparison as well, because that's a very key important requirement today, that which is the best model to be selected and which will give you an optimal output both from an accuracy and also from a cost perspective, and the less usage of token is what is recommended. So those are the avenues where we work with the client and we help them support that as well. That's predominantly on AI, Digvijay. Thank you.
Thanks. So as a part of our deliveries, obviously we have covered a lot of components of managed services, but still to highlight on the technical part of it. So while we say that we have built the solutions, we have also managed them for our clients. So we do that as a part of our managed services, where we provide resources which would continuously support the application development and the support which is required. They continue to do a lot of modifications or changes as per the day-to-day requirement. Similarly, we do that on infrastructure services. More critically, on BFSI operation support, we have supported banks as a part of our engagement, where we have taken up operational activities as a part of our delivery, which we continue to do that. And the last and important element, which is the help desk and tech support, which we typically run 24 by 7 for our clients. Again, in terms of the models, it remains pretty much simple, but then we have models where we typically go on skill augmentation. Also, we look at dedicated functional unit, the pod approach, which Nimesh talked about, where we have specific skill sets of resources. And then obviously we do team augmentation based on how that requirement is available. It is predominantly a scalable approach. We start with the limited resources, and based on the number of transactions or based on the skill sets, we scale up the team accordingly. From a capabilities point of view, as you could understand that while we have covered across this in previous slides on application infrastructure, we continue to provide that on this. In terms of strength of resources, we have maximum number of people which continue to provide on this side of services. While we have delivered the solution, we continue to support them as a part of our engagements as well. Key delivery highlights. Obviously, we have talked about certain specific engagements, but very quickly on the visa businesses. So we have delivered the visa application where we have focused on digital transformation. We have delivered the application. We have delivered the all the pretty critical services as a part of our delivery. In terms of banking, we have served four banks, and when we say four banks, it is predominantly on 3-1, we have done the entire technology stack, both consulting and evaluation of their different solutions as a part of their banking technology journey, and supported the CTOs in terms of driving the modernization of their core in lieu with the requirements in the market. As a part of that services, we have also provided cybersecurity and support services, as I mentioned, where we have done a banking support on operations typically on this. We have done two insurance providers. Again, the similar thing. A different client, it's an event management company, which we continue to do. We have served different on telesales, more than 10 plus clients, and we continue to do that. And as I mentioned, we have also supported on a compliance management company in Europe. A very quick look on our clients. It is a healthy pool in terms of across the number of segments of businesses which we currently cater to. As you could see that significant amount of them are towards BFSI, travel and retail. And then obviously as a part of our engagements, we also support technology companies in terms of driving those engagements. As a part of our journey, so we help organizations work, and we practically work along with them as partners in terms of delivering their long-term goals as a part of our initiatives. So that was a quick overview on what our team and our organization delivers across multiple locations and services. In terms of, we know that we have covered a lot of time and couldn't take up things, and we would be very happy and to answer your questions where you could write back to us, and we will be able to respond to you very promptly on that. Thank you so much for your time, everyone. Thanks,
Thank you.
Nimesh, for bringing this up. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.